access the data and even read the data using the ADO.NET. And then is performance and scalability. It has a very good performance, and scalability is we can extend the amount of data we are using. It can access many amount of data from the databases. Here are some overview of .NET My Services. It is a set of internet accessible web services. It can be accessed from desktop machine, personal digital assistant, mobile phone and other devices. So, .NET provides such a services that we can access the data from different type of machine. Either it can be your PC, either it can be your digital assistant, either it can be your mobile phone and any other device. It consists of network authenticated services together with a set of SOAP callable web services. Authenticated means only authorized persons can use the web services. If you have applied the particular passwords here, then you can only the person who have the valid username, valid password can only access the data. So, security feature is the very bigger issue which is provided by the .NET. Services are provided by the distributed group of services maintained by Microsoft and other companies. Each services provide a specific function. Here are some services provided by the .NET, that is .NET alerts. Like in the banks, when there is any transaction in your database, there is an alert that amount is withdrawn from your account, amount is deposited from your account. So, these are the alerts, or like alerts like anyone using your internet, if there is any email in your inbox, your mobile phone gives a ring to you. So, these are the alerts which is the facility provided by the .NET. .NET calendar, like in our mobile phone, in our PC, in our digital machines, we all have the facility of date, time, we can check the current date, current time at any moment. .NET contacts, you can save the addresses, you can save the names, mobile numbers, etc. in your phones, in your PCs, in your PDAs. So, it is the very much facility which is provided by the .NET. Then you have the .NET inbox, you can receive many number of mails from different senders. .NET documents, you can save the data, you can save the Excel files, Word files into the data. There is a feature of file handling. .NET wallets, .NET list, you can list the data, .NET profiles can be created, and the .NET presence means either the person is online or not. So, all these facilities like alerts, calendars, contacts, inbox, documents, wallets, list, profiles, presence, all are the provided by the web can be created by the .NET, or you can say it is the all package provided by the .NET. So, describing .NET My Services, it is the authenticated service passport. So, main is the .NET work like a passport, like using the password you can go to the foreign countries. Here using the .NET you can go to the internet world or a web services. Many of the web services can only be accessible by the .NET services. So, it works like a passport, it is authenticated services to the users. Then the XML based services, like the presentation you want, any non-technical person can view the data, any of the user friendly pages can be created only by the .NET. Here you see the keyboarders uses tickets for the authentication. Here the first you see how this .NET do the passport like work. First require ticket granting ticket. We said the person is requiring any ticket granting ticket, means the something authenticated through which we can enter to the internet. Then he got the passport, then return TGT, present TGT and require ticket for the application, and then return ticket and session key. Session keys, there is a concept in the Cryptography, when you have to access over the internet, you have to do the key feature like a symmetric key and non-symmetric key, which is used by the sender and receiver for authenticate the data, and then here that data will be verify, decrypt parameters and make authorization decision. Means it will decide who can use my web services or who cannot, either the person who are using the internet is authenticated or not. Next is the .NET COM interoperability. COM is component object model which comes before the .NET. It has some drawbacks, but why we need it? Why do we need it? COM is the backbone of all the DNA, that is distributed network architecture technologies. The application typically use COM components as either homegrown or bought off shelves. COM.NET interoperability refer to the concept of the COM components being able to use .NET component and vice versa. DNA to .NET migration will typically be done in stages. So, interoperability is essential when existing COM component want to use .NET components and vice versa, and during migration path from DNA to .NET. So, .NET has some drawbacks because .NET Microsoft COM standard was developed for use on small systems with limited memory running Microsoft Windows, and .NET dynamic link libraries were shared between application to save memory. Besides the registration logistic needed to make DLS, that is dynamic link libraries, work at all. So, COM components could be rendered inoperatively various issues. So, we have to go for the .NET. Here you see how this .NET framework COM interoperability, how these COM, here you see the COM objects, here is the common language runtime which is the part of the .NET, but these managed objects are used by the COM is used by the .NET and then application is being run. Here is some introduction to MSSQL. SQL is one of the feature or one of the application which is wraps in the .NET framework. So, ML/SQL server is a database server. SQL query language is a database server which help us to store the data, access the data, retrieve the data, insert the data or access the data with the authentication with whole security purposes. It is also the product of Microsoft. It enable users to write queries and other SQL statements and execute them. When these SQL statements are executed, then all the data is being fetched. Consists of several features. A few are query analyzer, profiler, service manager and bulk copy program. Query analyzer analyze the query whether the syntax written is correct or not. Profiler check whether the data is available over the internet or not. Then service manager provides the data and making a bulk copy of the program. So, profiler is a monitoring tool which monitoring the data or monitoring the whole process. It is used for performance tuning. It uses traces and event monitoring protocols, means it keeps the logs, means who is logging, who is accessing the data or which part of data. Event may be a query or a transaction like logins, etc. Next is the service manager. This service manager help us to manage services. More than one instance of SQL Server can be installed in the machines. The first instance is called a default instance, and reset of the instance, that in 16 megs, are called the named instance. Instance is actually a view of data or the database at one particular time. So, service manager help us in starting or stopping the instances individually. So, here is instance. each instance is hidden from another instance, means what data is present at one particular time is hidden from the what data is present at the another particular time, because of the security, because it enhances the security, it increases the security. Every instance has its own set of users, admins, database collections, means every user has its own passwords, admin records, database or collection, means who can use the data or who can not use the data. Advantage of having multiple instances is because multi-company support, because if many of the companies are using the same data or want to access the same data, then only one instance is provided to the one company which is required to them, and one instance is provided to another company which is required to them. So, no one company can read the other company's data, as well as it is safe from the other company also. So, multi-company support, each company can have its own instance and create database on the same server independent of each other, because they are not dependent on each other. Server consolidation can host up to 10 server application on a single machine. So, this is how instance work. Instance is the one data or the data at one particular time. Next is the BCP, that is the bulk copy program. As the queries are fired to the SQL server, when we write the query and query in return the database is returned or the view is returned, we have to keep one copy of that. This powerful command line utility that enable us to transfer large amount of records from a file to the database. Suppose we are entering 100 records using the insert command, then this bulk copy command help us to transfer the data from our file to the main database, and the time taken for copying to and from database is very less because of this BCP program, that is bulk copy program, and it also help us in taking the backups and the restoration, means if there is any data loss due to any reason, we can take the backup and restore the data. Then there is the query analyzer. This query analyzer allows us to write queries and SQL statement. SQL is structured query language in which we write the select commands, insert command. It checks the syntax of the SQL statement returns, means either it is written properly or not, it is valid or not, then it will execute the statement, then it stored and reload the statements and save the result in one file and provides the report to the users or the person who generate the query. Then there are some objects which are used in the SQL databases, that is tables, views, stored procedures, functions, rules, defaults, cursors, triggers. So, these all are the objects which are provided by the .NET packages. Here are some system databases. The SQL server has 4 types of databases. The one is master database, model database, tempdb database and the msdb database. These 4 databases have their own functions. Then there are some commands for creating the database. We need to use master database for creating a database. By default, the size of the database is 1 MB and the database consists of master data file which is have the extension .mdf and the primary log file which have the extension LDF. Then there are some database operation like change the database, create the database, dropping the database, and we have some commands for that. These are some SQL Server data types, and then this is all about the .NET, and thanks for being the nice audience. Thank you very much.